Hello, I am the CommunistPenguin, and welcome to the Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program, if you don't know, is a game about rockets and launching spaceships and stuff, and going to other planets and all sorts of cool things you can do in space, like NASA, but more cool. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a challenge. I'll be making a series out of this, hopefully, by a bloke called Valley on the forums. There should be a link in the description, hopefully. It's called Kerbin is Doomed. Now, basically, the idea of this is that you have a year, Kerbin year, which is 200 days until the whole of Kerbin is destroyed in like a fiery ball of death or something like that. So the idea is you have to set up as many colonies as you can on other planets. So a colony basically has to have like a few kerbals in it, and it has to be able to have a mining base and an extraplanetary launch pad. So you can have one colony per planet. You can also have a space station, but the space station has to be be able to be fueled by the planet. So it has to be there has to be a ground station as well. But as you can see, I have to have some mods to do this. So I've got I have the Keith mod and extraplanetary launchpad mod, as well as some other mods. Probably can see some mods in the on the parts bar on the left. So today, what I'm doing today is I'm building communication satellites. So I am using a mod called Remote Tech, which means that your probes don't just get controlled automatically by God. You have to set up some communications network. So as you can see, I'm building some satellites here, some communication satellites on top of a rocket. I'm not really sure at the moment what sort of communication devices I need, so I'm just putting one of each on there. So I've got an antenna and a radio dish. So the idea is you have to set up a communications network to be able to control your remote control devices throughout the system. So yeah, today I'm going to be doing some geostationary communication satellites. So the importance of building communication satellites is so that we can obviously control our unmanned vehicles, because obviously the purpose of this is to put as many kerbals away from off of Kerbal as possible. There are always room for a few unmanned things that we will need, and also a few things before we have to start getting people to the planet. We need a few devices in orbit which are going to be unmanned. So yeah, we need to get some communication satellites going. I did consider giving myself an extra time bonus when doing this bit, because probably would already have some communication satellites in orbit, but I figured that'd just be a bit silly, to be honest. It's not going to take too long to do this mission anyway. So I was building the launcher here. I think I'm using asparagus staging, which is where you use fuel pumps to pump fuel out of the tanks. Google asparagus staging on Scott Manley. Scott Manley did a video on it, because Scott Manley is the best KSP player probably. if you're trying to learn KSP. But yeah, so obviously the all the fuel drain out of two of the outer rockets, and then towards the inner ones, and then the big one will drop. So yeah, I'm just I made a big mistake when I was building this, which you'll see shortly. Just finally prepping out to put some winglets on it. If you're building a rocket and it tends to be falling around the place, it's always good to add some few winglets, because winglets make everything better, basically. I know I've built some rockets in the past with winglets on the upper stages to keep it balanced, but because I didn't want the winglets there, I had the winglets on the couplers, which was and on docking port, which was interesting. But yeah, so hopefully I will visit many other worlds with this challenge. The good thing about this challenge, it doesn't necessarily have an end, because as soon as you've got one extraplanetary launch pad, even after the time is gone, you can carry on building ships and launching to the other planets. Okay, I'm just sort of setting up action groups here. just solar panels and antenna and stuff. I didn't actually know I was intent to an action group, but yeah, it might come in helpful in someday in the far future. So yeah, just final preparations. As you can see, I've got a flag, a unique flag there. It says the I think it's 8th Kerbin regiment. It's I edited a flag from Warhammer. It's an Imperial Guard flag. You might know of it. But yeah, just this is the mod here. You can see with all these flags. They look like just little blue things in the editor, but when you actually launch it, it displays your mission flag on there, which is really quite cool actually. I only found it the other day. But yeah, so the mods I'm using I'm using the custom fairings mod. I didn't used to like the custom fairings mod. I used the mods, the fairings that were in what's it called? They discontinued it. I can't remember what it was called. It was like Kerbal rocketry or something like that. But yeah, they had some really good fairings in it, but they don't have that anymore. So I just use the custom fairings, which are actually very easy to use and probably save you on a few parts. Right, let's go to launch. I'll skip out most of the launch. Just have the start and the end. So yeah, I wasn't getting many FPS doing this. That's why this is all in 4 time acceleration at the moment. And lift off. Yeah, go. It's cut to about to do orbit. So the main tank's out. I'm starting using the Poodle engine here, and going to try and decouple my fairings and oh dear, the fairings, they won't come off. I'm trying to right click in the actual base, but nothing's working. I noticed this when I was doing the staging that it didn't seem to appear, but I thought it would just be a right click, but apparently not. So trying to sort of see if I can do anything here. I think in the end I just sort of fire off all the stagings. Jebediah just sort of like going, what's going on? Was that Jebediah? I can't tell. The video quality of the preview window is pretty small. So yeah, just reverted flight then. That was obviously a simulation, as we all know, because you know if it doesn't work properly, it's a simulation. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do and take the fairings off, because I know there's a few different fairings on the actually came with it. It's like an orange one here, so I'm going to try the orange one. I forgot that you actually have to put the payload on before you can put the fairings on. There we go. It's quite cool. It shows you the outline of the fairings do. So I put it's all 9, and this time it actually appears in the staging window, so I figured this time it's work. So you can see I also made a few changes to the launch profile here. I added some orange booster tanks on the sides instead of the smaller ones. I've still got asparagus stage, some small side tanks. You might be able to hear some strange sort of warbling in the background here. Basically, when I recorded this, I had Skype running. I was talking to a friend, but unfortunately, it recorded his end of the Skype. So it's on 8 times time acceleration, so it might be quite amusing. Also, as I'm sure you've heard by now, that the KSP music in time acceleration is pretty funny. I was gonna have my own music, but I decided just for this video, just the sound of Kerbal Space Program music, the epicness of Kerbal Space Program put into 4 times or 8 times time acceleration is just too funny. So yeah, he did last time, going to orbit. I think that orange tank has just about run out. Oh no, it hasn't. No, we're waiting to get to Apoapsis. So I think we're gonna go into a 70-kilometer lower orbit and then burn into the higher geostationary orbit. So geostationary orbit works when you're orbiting at the same speed the planet's turning, which means that you'll always stay in like the same geographical place. You can only do this in a equatorial, I believe, because that's sort of the plane that the planet spins on. So we're not going to go straight into a geostationary or geostationary orbit. See what I did there? Geostationary because it's Kerbal. Yeah. I am just detaching the fairings there. You can see I also I varied I flipped around the satellites on there because they're not actually centered on their center of mass because of the satellite dishes on like a little strut to make it look cooler. This does tend to be quite annoying actually when I'm trying to fly these things. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, geostationary orbit. So around Kerbin, geostationary orbit is it's about, I think it's 2.8 million meters. So you see I'm burning into that right now, as I've just got into orbit. Oh yeah, I just found this remote tech has a quite nice flight computer in it, which you can use to sort of lock on to certain, a bit like MechJeb. But yeah, so I sort of noticed that, because this is actually the first time I've used most of the mods that I'm using in this episode. So yeah, just decoupling that stage there, and it explodes quite spectacularly, burning into orbit. I think we're going to 8 times time acceleration in a second here, so the music should be going insane, hopefully. I can't actually hear the music in this preview window, but who cares? So yeah, we're going to go into a 4-hour orbit, which is around about, I got 2.8 million in apparatus, and around, I think it was like 11,000 something. What am I sending it to here? I can't read that. Yeah, about 1.1 million, I think it is. But that will put me in about 4-hour orbit. Now Kerbin orbits at 6 hours, so that this means like once an orbit, I can after 3 orbits, I'll be in the same place. I'll be in the same place over Kerbin again. So the idea is that I can launch one satellite every time I get to that point in my orbit, and they will be equally spaced, because you can see I've got 3 satellites in here, which should be enough to cover the whole of Kerbin, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just pointing towards my maneuver node and then warping to the apparatus. So yeah. So what I'm going to do? I've got my my probes. They have a small fuel tank and a couple of engines. So once it gets to apparatus, I'll decouple the probe and fire him off into his orbit. As you can see, I missed the apparatus there, being a bit stupid. So I just got to walk around it again. It's a bit annoying, but oh well. Oh yeah, as I was doing this, I noticed that I don't know what mod it is. I think it might have been the remote tick mod, because it's like 2.0, not 2.1. And the SAS is like gone back. It's broken, or it's gone back to how it used to be. So because I'm recording this in version 2.21, if you're wondering, and they've in this version they implement I can't speak. They implemented the new improved SAS system, but in this version the SAS system is still broken. It's still not broken, but it's still it locks you in, doesn't let you edit it, which is a bit annoying. So here you can see I've dropped the first probe, and I'm just trying to get to control. For some reason it's always pointing backwards, no matter where I right click on it. So yeah, I just end up pointing retrograde and burning, which is actually prograde. It's just a bit silly. Also, you can see the little flight computer thing I was talking about earlier. It seems to control the actual main ship, not the probe, which is rather odd. Anyway, I made a big mistake here, which you might have noticed if you know about this mod, but you'll see soon. So yeah, I'm just about to start burning. Oh, I'm burning. Sorry, to get into my geostationary orbit. If you are trying to do something like this, I recommend you switch your speed to surface speed, not orbit speed. So when you're that means that when you're near like geostationary orbit, it should show your surface speed as 0, because you're obviously not going anywhere. Do you see I'm walking through apparatus like anyone normally would do, and I'm trying to turn and throttle up, and oh no, something's going wrong. I'm trying to control. Turns out I didn't switch on the satellite dish when I decoupled the probe, which means that I can't. I've lost control of the probe. I don't know how I can control it at short range. I guess maybe you can just control things when they're close to you, but I've lost control of this probe. I'm like trying to switch on the antenna and stuff on the ship, but it doesn't do anything. So luckily I quick loaded just before I the probe. So here we go. I quick save. So quick loaded now. So I'm just sort of activating all these dishes and stuff. I could have used the action group, but I forgot I'd set them. So yeah. So we're releasing the first probe again. I'm gonna go into orbit. So I'm setting control to the main ship here, as you can see on that little window. So yeah, it's quite annoying that I put the satellite dish on the side on a few struts, which means that if you try and throttle up, it sort of keeps turning to the side, which meant that my orbits were slightly off by a little bit, which was rather annoying. Alright, here I'm spinning around somehow. I think I managed to. I don't know how I managed to do that. I thought that when I set the antenna to point it to set it to be controlled by the main ship, that it would point the satellite dish at the main ship, but I don't know. So I think how it works is the use the antenna to control other vehicles, and the satellite dish. I keep getting them mixed up. The satellite dish receives signals. So yeah, just burning into a geostationary orbit. I don't think I actually get it exact. I get it within like about 5 meters a second, but I can always go back to that. And I didn't want to spend like an hour of the video just getting it exactly right. So you can see if you're ever trying to put something into a zero inclination orbit, the moon is very helpful. If you set the moon as target, the moon is on a zero inclination orbit, so you can just where it has the ascending and descending nodes, it'll tell you how far off you are. Obviously, the moon in real life isn't on a zero inclination orbit. That would be pretty crazy. I don't know what the chance of that would be, if I can say. So yeah, as it turns out, this probe is you can't really see from the video, or you might be able to, but it's just about over the Kerbal Space Center. I think KSC is just on the dark side of the planet at the moment. So yeah, I've just renamed it to Kom-sat 1. So I'm gonna have, like I said, there's gonna be 3 Kom-sats in like a triangle position. So I have complete coverage. So here we go. I think now I'm definitely in 8 times time acceleration. So yeah, just gonna time walk around the planet. You can see the little blue line shows you your link to Kerbal Space Center, and you can see there just for a few seconds it's bouncing off the satellite into the planet. So yeah, I'm time warping slowly there. It's 8 times time acceleration, but I did that very slowly because I didn't want to miss it again like I did last time. So yeah, now it's just a bit repetitive, just launching these other satellites into orbit. Again, it's just 4 times time acceleration. So yeah, basically the rules for this challenge is that, like I said, you've got 200 days until Kerbin is destroyed, so you've got to make as many colonies as you can, and you get bonus points for as many colonies as you can create, and you get like bonus points for the amount of kerbals you have on each planet, and also in each colony. But I think I'm gonna sort of change it a bit and do other things. I think 1 colony per planet is a bit like I think it's a bit excessive. I think I don't know. I might try and build like multiple colonies on the planet, but like quite far separated. Obviously, it won't count as the points, but whatever. I don't care. It's just in my mind, you don't have 1 like outpost per planet. Anyway, I was thinking about putting a launch pad in Antarctica, considering I am the CommunistPenguin, but as it turns out, launching things from Antarctica isn't a good idea because because the reason pretty much all launches happen from the equator is that you get the boost for burning, because the planet is already turning, I don't know, quite fast. So you get the boost from the planet. You don't get that if you're at the south, because the South Pole isn't really moving. Anyway, just rambling on there. You can see I'm re-entering here. I just used the last of my fuel to get a capture. I love those re-entry effects. They're really cool. It's gonna really suck when they add deadly re-entry though. Or I don't know if they will. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll have like really cool heat shields and stuff. Yes, deploying the parachutes there. I know some people deploy the parachutes at like much earlier than that, but I don't like sort of cheating. Sort of spinning around a little bit here. All done in 8 times time acceleration, so I only got about 4 FPS when I'm recording this, but I don't mind too much. I'm used to low FPS. I tend to get fairly high FPS when playing KSP, but I was recording as well. So yeah, here we go. We've got all the crew have safely returned. We're just recovering their vehicle, and we have 3 Kom-sats in geostationary pretty much orbit. Look at that. It's like a triangle of 3 satellites. And yes, we shall conquer your Kerbin system. We have a closer look at one of these satellites, I think. So yeah, I think my ambitions for next episode, I want to build some sort of sensor thing. Something I want to build, like maybe a telescope, or like to look at some of the other planets, to like to spot good launch zones, or maybe some sort of interplanetary probe. So So yeah, just getting some fancy screenshots here, and yeah, for the thumbnail and stuff. You see Kerbin and the moon in the background, or the mun, as it should be known. So yeah, please feel free to give a like or dislike if you liked or disliked the video. And yes, click the subscribe button to become a Soviet penguin today, so we can march on the polar bear aggressors, or whatever, I don't know, whatever communist penguins would